High tide, 7:16 a.m., 69 outdoors, 68 indoors. We're downstairs. Downstairs is cooler than upstairs, where I said, I'm not turning the air conditioning on yesterday. But I had forgot that I had left it set at like 83 last fall, and the air conditioner did click on yesterday because we got in the mid 80s inside the house. Yes, the yard furniture came out. Yard furniture came out yesterday too. All right, so today's going to be a fun day to watch the thermometer go back to 90 in places like, Hartford, Connecticut. It was 92 yesterday, probably about the same today. Record warmth. We had the first 70-degree day a couple days ago, first 80-degree day, and 90-degree day yesterday for some locations. Boston fell just short at 88, breaking the record of 86 from 1977. Been watching that year 1977 a lot when that cold high pressure first came in last week. We rivaled the record low temperatures from 1977, and also some temperatures that were breaking in Alaska with record colder from 1977. So 1977 keeps popping up here, and everyone remembers what happened the day after Mother's Day in 1977, May 9th. That year, after a very warm spring, we had our latest snowstorm on record. So that's something to watch. Why don't we start with the big picture, real big picture, with that record cold in Alaska, also record cold Washington and Oregon. So some of that Alaska purple releases down in the Pacific into the Northwest. And then here in eastern part of North America, we do get a dose of colder air coming in about Tuesday or so. I'm talking about deep cold air. And then it tries to warm up, and then day 10 on this thing looks colder in eastern and southeastern Canada than even today or tomorrow. So there is cold left, and usually when you're experiencing record high temperatures, there's record cold somewhere. A few record lows this morning in Washington and Oregon. Portland, I guess yesterday was cold enough it almost snowed in Portland. So usually a high amplitude flow means there's some of each going on. And yesterday the record warmth, certainly just astounding, from the Central Plains here into the Northeast, with just more than I can count. Record high temperatures yesterday. Today's going to be a little bit different. You see those clouds up there? There's a bit of a front coming down through Maine, and this morning we're cooler in northern Maine, and it's sort of a backdoor wedge. That's what Marshall Shepard called it last weekend in Augusta. A wedge of cold air undermining the warmth. So where we're glassy water now, the air is just real light from the southwest. Around 11 or 12 o'clock here in the Boston area, the wind is going to come around from the east and northeast, maybe even southeast, I'm not sure. We'll be watching. And the temperature, which will be near 80 just before lunchtime, is going to drop dramatically into the 60s. Now, the dew point is low enough and the air is dry enough. I don't think it's going to come with much in the way of any cloud. I'll be watching for that. That's going to be interesting. Or precipitation. So we're going to have a dry frontal passage without any action. Actually, the government map draws a low pressure wave on this front, which is kind of interesting. So maybe we get a surprise raindrop or two. That's today. And then tomorrow, let's look at, first of all, the 5-day for Boston. The red line temperature, blue line dew point. If we keep those separated, you do not get the low clouds and fog. But you can see they're getting close tomorrow morning in the 50s, and then by tomorrow night, we do get the low clouds and fog and chance of showers in the Boston area. And if you look at Westfield, Massachusetts, you can see still 90 today or better, and then only slowly falling into the 60s for still warmer than the climatological average temperatures here tomorrow. And then it's pretty interesting what happened. That disaster in Fort Lauderdale, that rain, that was a feeder band into a low pressure system that formed on the old front. Whenever you have those record cold high pressure systems go to the Gulf of Mexico and push a front down to South Florida, you got to watch for development on the south side of the high, and that's certainly what we had over the last several days. And yesterday it looked very impressive coming up out of the Mississippi River Valley. So how did that happen? Well, there was still enough cold air to fuel that system. Storms need both cold and warm air. So that system is running out of cold air. So it's just sort of a plume of energy running into the warmth. So that's going to dissipate, almost fall apart completely, and then kind of ripple off south of New England tomorrow, but some showers are getting close to south coast. Tomorrow actually looks kind of blotchy, but there are some showers popping up, kind of April showers. It's that plume of energy left over from the Gulf of Mexico blending with the front that's coming to from north to south today and producing some showers along the south coast tomorrow. Of course, you can't keep this kind of weather going on a weekend, can you? And then on Sunday, that little system to the south is still there. Now we're watching a more robust front come in from the west, but it looks like it's going to wait until Monday. So you're going outdoors, especially west and north, this weekend, still looking good. A few ski areas still open. I may try and get last chair at Stowe. My arm is feeling better on Sunday. And then, of course, other areas are going to keep going. They built a glacier on Killington. What is it called? I can't remember the name of the trail. Superstar, sorry. That glacier should be there through May. Ski season out west is going to go as long as they can take it. Probably into June, July. Somebody will be skiing in July out west. Just ridiculous amounts of snow. So, is it going to snow again here? Well, next week in the higher elevations, yes. And there are some indications that Mother Nature wants to pull a fast one, aka 1977, in a couple of weeks. But for now, let's just enjoy the play-by-play of what's going on, this preview of summer. Can't last forever, right? Hopefully you do get weather like this in the summer on a Saturday and a Sunday. Thinking of you, Ed, at Sundancers on the deck. You know, it seems like you have all this great weather, but why can't we get it on a Saturday and a Sunday? Not this week, and I don't know, next weekend doesn't look that great either. Boston 14-day forecast. Large spread there in the red and the blue there late next week, so it could go either way, but the Euro operational kind of leaning cold. Why don't we look at the 10-day snowfall map just for the fun of it? Yeah, a few specks there showing up, parts of northern New England, Colorado, and Canada. Oh, Minnesota, look at that, and north of Lake Huron. So there's still coast-to-coast snow in North America, just not in the United States. All right, yesterday was kind of fun watching the flag move around. I'm going to do the same today, leave you with some highlights. People at the beach yesterday. And yes, the water is still very cold. National Weather Service is warning us about cold water. Thank you. A week ago yesterday, Thursday, was the first short stay up at Stowe. And today looks like the first bathing suit day at Wessagusset. Rex, where are you pulling me? 3 o'clock. Some observations from near Boston are coming in at 90 degrees on this April 13th afternoon. But right here down by the beach, the air has turned around, is now slight from the northeast, probably keeping Logan from reaching 90 today, but 85, 86 takes the cake, breaking the record. April 13th, 1977. How you doing? Boaters are a little bit like the flies of springtime. They just start coming out of nowhere all of a sudden. I think the herring might be in. We should go to the herring run.